Welcome back to our channel. Have you ever felt like you're standing on the sidelines of your own life, waiting for the perfect moment to make a change? If your answer is yes, you're not alone. Many of us wait for opportunities, validation, or the elusive feeling of being ready. But let me share with you a truth from Stoic philosophy. The perfect moment doesn't exist. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it." It is your actions, in this very moment, that define who you are and who you will become. This isn't about waiting for the world to hand you an opportunity. It's about creating your own by acting as if you are already the best. Imagine living each day holding yourself to the highest standard, not to prove yourself to others, but to elevate yourself. This isn't about arrogance or pretending. It's about choosing to live with purpose, discipline, and belief in your own abilities. In this video, I'll guide you through how to apply Stoic principles to act as if you are already the best, even if you don't feel like it yet. This lesson will not only help you achieve success, but will also empower you to live with confidence and inner peace. If you're ready to start this journey, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Together, we'll build a community of resilience, growth, and inspiration to live a life of meaning. Are you ready? Let's begin. So, deciding your worth. The power to begin lies within you. Let's face it, the journey toward the life you dream of can feel daunting. You might look around and think that success belongs to others, those with more talent, better opportunities, or sheer luck. But let me ask you this: how often do we blame external factors to avoid confronting the truth? The truth is that what stands between you and your goals isn't a lack of talent, luck, or resources. It's the decision to begin. That's it. The choice to take the first step, to rise above fear, doubt, or excuses, is entirely within your control. And yet, it's the hardest step to take because it forces us to own our journey. It demands courage, self-belief, and most of all, action. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, reminded us that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Think about the power in that statement. Life will throw challenges your way, unfair circumstances, missed opportunities, and moments where the odds seem stacked against you. But these external events don't define you. What defines you is your response. Your response is your superpower. The world around us is noisy. We're bombarded by pressures, comparisons, and distractions at every turn. Social media tells us we're not enough. The news amplifies our fears, and even those closest to us might unknowingly project their limitations onto us. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, stuck, or even defeated before you start. But here's the thing: external factors only have the power you give them. If you believe that someone else's success diminishes your own, you're handing over your power. If you let fear of failure stop you from trying, you're letting something external dictate your potential. The Stoics teach us that true freedom comes from realizing that no one and nothing can control your mind except you. Picture this: you're standing at the edge of a cliff, looking out over a vast unknown landscape. The winds of doubt and fear howl around you, urging you to step back to wait for a calmer day. But the Stoics would tell you this: don't wait for the wind to stop, learn to steady yourself against it. You can't control the wind, but you can control your footing. Your mindset shapes your actions. When you decide to stop focusing on what's out of your control and start directing your energy inward, something profound happens. You begin to shift from a victim of circumstance to the master of your fate. It's not easy, but it's liberating. Epictetus would often ask his students, "Why do you seek freedom outside of yourself when it is already within you?" This isn't just philosophical rhetoric, it's a practical guide to transforming your mindset. Freedom begins the moment you stop blaming your situation and start owning your reactions. Let's take an example. Imagine you're at work, overlooked for a promotion you feel you deserved. The instinctive response might be frustration or resentment. You might blame your boss, your colleagues, or the system, but the Stoics would encourage you to pause and reflect. Can you control the decision that was made? Likely not. But can you control how you respond? Absolutely. Do you let the setback define your self-worth, or do you use it as fuel to improve, learn, and show up even stronger next time? This is the essence of Stoicism: controlling what you can, your thoughts, actions, and attitude, and releasing what you cannot. Starting is often the most intimidating part of any journey. Why? Because starting requires vulnerability. It means acknowledging that you're not where you want to be yet. It means stepping into uncertainty and risking failure. But here's the secret the Stoics want you to know: starting is also your greatest act of courage. When you take that first step, you're declaring, "I am more than my circumstances. I am more than my doubts." That declaration, however quiet or small, is a revolution in itself. Let me share a story. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and one of the most influential Stoic thinkers, faced unimaginable challenges during his reign: plagues, wars, and political betrayals. Yet, in his meditations, he wrote not about the obstacles themselves, but about the power of perspective. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus didn't wait for perfect conditions to lead with wisdom and virtue. He acted in spite of the chaos, knowing that his response was the one thing he could control. His example reminds us that the first step isn't about changing the world overnight. It's about changing the way you approach it. Stop waiting, start acting. We all have dreams, big, bold visions of what we want our lives to be. But dreams remain dreams until you take action. And action doesn't require perfection. It requires a choice. A choice to stop waiting for the right moment, the perfect plan, or someone else's permission. Ask yourself, what am I waiting for? If you think you need more time, consider this: the time will pass anyway. If you think you need more confidence, remember this: confidence is built through action, not the other way around. The Stoics teach us that excuses are the chains that hold us back. When you say, "I'm not ready," you're creating a barrier that doesn't exist. When you say, "I'll start tomorrow," you're handing your potential to a future that isn't guaranteed. Instead, embrace what you can do today. Small steps compound into monumental change over time. You don't need to know every detail of the journey. Just focus on the next right action. What if you started today? Not with a grand gesture, but with a single, deliberate step. It could be as simple as writing down your goal, having a difficult conversation, or setting aside time to develop a skill. Whatever it is, make the decision now. The Stoics believed that life is fleeting and precious. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to breathe, to love. Don't waste that privilege waiting. The path to becoming the best version of yourself begins the moment you decide to take control of your actions and your attitude. The decision is yours, and it starts today. As you reflect on this, remember, you are not defined by your circumstances, your past, or your fears. You're defined by the choices you make, here, now, and every day. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to commit to your next step. And if you're ready to continue this journey of growth and resilience, subscribe to our channel. Together, we'll explore the wisdom of Stoicism and how it can guide you to a life of purpose, strength, and inner peace. Your journey begins with one decision. What will you choose? Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start where you are. How many times have you told yourself, "I'll start when the time is right"? Maybe you've been waiting for the perfect opportunity, the ideal circumstances, or that magical moment when everything just falls into place. But let me tell you something the Stoics knew centuries ago: the perfect moment doesn't exist. Life isn't waiting for you to feel ready, and it certainly won't pause to give you the ideal conditions to begin. The Stoics understood that progress isn't about waiting, it's about acting even in uncertainty. Epictetus taught us, "It is not things that disturb us, but our judgment about them." That judgment, the belief that now isn't the right time, becomes a barrier we create for ourselves. Think about the moments in your life when you've delayed starting something important. Maybe you told yourself you needed more resources, more knowledge, or more confidence. But in reality, what were you waiting for? The truth is, perfection is a myth. It's a comfortable excuse we use to avoid stepping into the unknown. The Stoics would remind us that life is unpredictable, and the pursuit of perfection often leads to paralysis. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest leaders, faced relentless challenges, wars, political betrayal, and personal loss. Yet, he wrote in Meditations, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." In other words, time is fleeting. Waiting for the perfect moment is not only unrealistic, it's a luxury we don't have. The beauty of Stoicism is its emphasis on action over circumstance. You don't need ideal conditions to begin. What you need is the courage to take the first step, no matter how small. Imagine standing on the shore, looking out at an ocean of possibilities. The waves may be rough, the wind uncertain, but the Stoics would tell you this: set sail anyway. The journey isn't about waiting for calm seas, it's about learning to navigate through the storm. Here's the profound truth. Every great accomplishment in history began with someone acting in less than perfect conditions. Marcus Aurelius didn't wait for peace to govern with wisdom. Epictetus didn't wait for freedom to teach resilience. And neither should you wait for the stars to align before pursuing your goals. The Stoics believed deeply in focusing on what is within your control. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." When you stop obsessing over external factors and start directing your energy inward, you unlock a wellspring of potential. Ask yourself, what is within my control right now? Maybe you don't have all the resources you think you need, but you have your determination. Maybe you don't know every step of the journey, but you know the next right move. That's all you need to start. Picture a craftsman building a masterpiece. They don't wait for the perfect tools or conditions. They begin with what they have. Every cut, every stroke, every adjustment is a step closer to their vision. Your life works the same way. The tools may not be perfect, but the work you do with them will shape your future. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, "I'm not ready yet," but here's the reality. Readiness isn't something you wait for, it's something you build. When you take action, even in uncertainty, you gain experience. You learn, you adapt, and you grow stronger. Let's take a real-world example. Imagine you're preparing for a marathon, but you've never run long distances before. Waiting for your fitness to improve magically won't prepare you. The only way to get ready is to start running, 1 mile, then 2, then more. The same applies to any challenge in life. Readiness comes through action, not before it. What holds most of us back isn't a lack of opportunity or ability, it's fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. The Stoics would tell us that these fears are natural, but they are also illusions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Fear thrives when we overestimate the risks and underestimate our ability to handle them. But when you take that first step, you begin to see that the fear was never as powerful as you believed. Small actions, big changes. You don't need to transform your life overnight. The Stoics taught that consistent, deliberate action is far more powerful than grand gestures. Begin with what you can manage today. If you want to improve your health, take a 10-minute walk. If you want to learn a skill, spend 15 minutes reading or practicing. If you want to repair a relationship, start with one honest conversation. These small actions may seem insignificant, but they compound over time. They create momentum, and with momentum comes confidence. The Stoics believed that the strength to act comes not from external validation, but from an inner resolve. Epictetus said, "First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Visualize the person you want to become, and then take the actions that align with that vision." Imagine what your life could look like a year from now if you started today, not if you waited, hesitated, or doubted, but if you simply began. The time will pass regardless. The question is, how will you use it? Your moment is now. What's stopping you from taking the first step? Is it the belief that you're not ready? The fear of failure? The desire for perfect conditions? Whatever it is, let it go. The Stoics remind us that the only moment we truly have is the present. When you act now, you reclaim your power. You stop waiting for life to happen and start shaping it with your own hands. Life is short. Opportunities are fleeting. The perfect moment you're waiting for may never come, but the power to act is already within you. Take it. Use it. Begin today. If this resonates with you, take a moment to reflect on one small action you can take right now. And if you're ready to embrace the wisdom of Stoicism, subscribe to our channel. Together we'll explore how to live with purpose, resilience, and the courage to act. Your journey doesn't start tomorrow. It starts now. What step will you take today? Act as if you are already the best. What if I told you that you already have everything it takes to be extraordinary, that the only thing separating you from the person you aspire to become is the way you choose to carry yourself today? This isn't about pretending or faking confidence, it's about embodying the mindset of someone who refuses to settle for less than their highest potential. The Stoics believed that excellence begins not with circumstance, but with mindset. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, carried himself with the dignity and purpose of a leader, not because he was perfect, but because he was committed to acting with virtue in every moment. As he famously wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." To act as if you're the best doesn't mean strutting around with arrogance or looking down on others. It's not about superiority. It's about showing up as the best version of yourself, striving for excellence and holding yourself to the highest standard. Think of a world-class athlete or a master craftsman. Their confidence doesn't come from arrogance, it comes from a deep commitment to their craft, built on discipline, hard work, and self-belief. They don't waste time comparing themselves to others. Instead, they focus on improving themselves, knowing that their potential is limitless. This is the mindset we aim to cultivate. Acting as if you are the best is about adopting the habits, attitudes, and disciplines of the person you aspire to be. It's about living in alignment with your values, not for external validation, but for your own growth and fulfillment. True confidence isn't loud or boastful. It's quiet, steady, and rooted in self-awareness. The Stoics teach us that confidence comes not from external achievements, but from living in harmony with our principles. When you act as if you are the best, you aren't seeking to impress others. Instead, you're lifting yourself up to your own highest potential. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This is the foundation of acting as if you're the best. Begin by envisioning the person you want to become. What qualities do they embody? What actions do they take? Now, start living as that person, step by step. It's important to distinguish between acting with confidence and acting with arrogance. Arrogance seeks to elevate you above others, but confidence is about elevating yourself to your own highest standard. Arrogance craves attention, while confidence thrives in quiet self-assurance. Marcus Aurelius exemplified this balance. Despite being one of the most powerful men in history, he carried himself with humility. He saw himself not as a perfect leader, but as a student of life, constantly striving to improve. His actions weren't about proving his worth to others. They were about living in alignment with his values. When you act as if you are the best, you're not pretending to know everything or to never make mistakes. Instead, you're committing to showing up with intention, purpose, and the belief that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. You don't need to be perfect to begin. Some of you might be thinking, "But I'm not the best. I'm nowhere near it. How can I act like I am?" Let me reassure you, acting as if you are the best isn't about pretending to be perfect. It's about adopting the mindset of growth and possibility. The beauty of this approach is that it works even when you feel far from your goals. When you carry yourself with confidence and discipline, something powerful begins to happen. You start to believe in your own potential, and when you believe it, you begin to embody it. This isn't magical thinking, it's psychology. The Stoics understood that our beliefs shape our actions, and our actions, in turn, shape our reality. By consistently acting as if you are capable, competent, and deserving, you reinforce those qualities within yourself. Living with intention and discipline. When you act as if you're the best, you raise your own standards. You start to make choices that align with the person you want to become. In your relationships, you ask yourself, what would the best version of me do? How would I treat others? How would I communicate? In your health, you ask, How would I care for my body if I believed I was capable of peak fitness? What habits would I adopt? In your career, you consider, how would I show up each day if I believed I was the best at what I do? These questions guide your actions, helping you create a life that reflects your highest values. Practice builds mastery. At first, acting as if you're the best might feel unnatural. You might think, who am I to carry myself with such confidence? But remember, confidence is like a muscle. It grows stronger with practice. Seneca said, "We become what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. Each time you practice confidence, discipline, or resilience, you reinforce those traits within yourself. Over time, what began as an effort becomes second nature. Acting as if you're the best doesn't mean you'll never face challenges or setbacks. The Stoics were clear that life is full of obstacles, but they also believed that these obstacles are what shape us. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When you encounter difficulties, see them not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to grow stronger. The mindset of acting as if you're the best helps you approach challenges with confidence and resilience. Instead of being paralyzed by fear or doubt, you see every setback as a stepping stone toward your goals. When you act as if you are the best, you don't just elevate yourself, you inspire those around you. The Stoics believed in the concept of sympatheia, the idea that we are all connected and that our actions impact the greater whole. Think about how it feels to be around someone who carries themselves with purpose and clarity. Their energy is contagious. They don't need to boast about their accomplishments. Their actions speak for them. By living with intention and striving for excellence, you become a source of inspiration for others. You show them what's possible when you act with confidence, discipline, and focus. Acting as if you are the best isn't about pretending or seeking approval. It's about embracing the mindset of growth, believing in your potential, and committing to living in alignment with your highest values. When you start living with purpose and discipline, you begin to create the life you've always envisioned. So, ask yourself, what would the best version of me do today? Then take that first step. If this message resonates with you, join us on this journey. Subscribe to our channel, and let's explore how the wisdom of Stoicism can help you live with purpose, resilience, and strength. Your potential is limitless. Start living it today. Building resilience through consistency. Excellence is a habit. What if I told you that the person you aspire to become, the confident, disciplined, and resilient version of yourself, is already within reach? The only thing standing between who you are today and who you could be is one simple truth. You become what you repeatedly do. This isn't just a catchy saying, it's the foundation of Stoic philosophy. Seneca once said, "We become what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. Greatness isn't achieved in a single bold moment. It's forged through consistent, deliberate action, day after day. When we think about transforming our lives, it's tempting to focus on big, dramatic changes. But the Stoics teach us that real transformation comes from the small, seemingly insignificant choices we make every day. Choosing to wake up early and start your day with purpose. Committing to 10 minutes of exercise, even when you don't feel like it. Taking the time to have a meaningful conversation instead of scrolling through your phone. These small decisions might seem minor in the moment, but over time, they compound into profound changes. Imagine building a wall, not by trying to construct it all at once, but by laying one brick perfectly each day. This is how habits shape our lives, one intentional choice at a time. One of the biggest obstacles to growth is the belief that we must be perfect from the start. We hesitate to take action because we're afraid of making mistakes or falling short. But the Stoics remind us that perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do every act of your life as though it were the last act of your life." This isn't a call for perfection, it's an invitation to approach each moment with intention. Even when you stumble or fall short, the key is to keep showing up. Think of a tree growing steadily through the seasons. It doesn't worry about how quickly it grows or compare itself to the trees around it. It simply focuses on the process, absorbing sunlight, taking in water and growing stronger with each passing day. Your journey is the same. Discipline is the backbone of consistent action. It's what allows you to keep moving forward, even when motivation fades. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer you that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen." True growth requires patience and persistence. It's about showing up every day, even when it's difficult, and trusting that your efforts will bear fruit in time. Discipline isn't about punishing yourself or pushing beyond your limits. It's about honoring your commitment to your own potential. When you consistently take small steps toward your goals, you're not just building new habits, you're building resilience. Each time you push through discomfort or doubt, you strengthen your ability to handle challenges in the future. Imagine you're training for a marathon. On the first day, running a single mile feels exhausting, but you push through. The next day, you run a little farther. Over time, what once felt impossible becomes second nature. The same principle applies to every area of your life. Repetition doesn't just improve your skills, it transforms your mindset. We all have that voice in our head, the one that says, "Why bother?" This won't make a difference. The Stoics would tell you that this voice isn't your enemy, it's your training ground. Epictetus taught his students to view challenges, including self-doubt, as opportunities for growth. When you choose to act despite your doubts, you're proving to yourself that you're stronger than your fears. Each time you override that voice, you reinforce a new belief. I am capable of more than I thought. Here's the magic of consistency. Small actions, repeated over time, create exponential results. It's like planting seeds in a garden. At first, you see nothing but soil, but with care and patience, those seeds sprout, grow, and eventually blossom into something beautiful. This principle applies to everything in life. Want to be healthier? Start with one better meal choice or one workout. Want to grow in your career? Commit to learning something new each day. Want to build stronger relationships? Begin with a single thoughtful conversation. Each small action contributes to a larger transformation, and as you see the results of your efforts, you build momentum, which fuels even greater progress. The path to consistency isn't linear. There will be days when you fall short, moments when you feel like giving up. But the Stoics remind us that setbacks are not failures. They're opportunities to learn and grow. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." When you encounter obstacles, don't see them as reasons to stop. Instead, use them as stepping stones to refine your approach and deepen your resolve. Consistency isn't just about forming habits, it is about living in alignment with your values. When you consistently act in a way that reflects your principles, you build a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be? Then, make choices that reflect that vision. If you value kindness, practice small acts of generosity every day. If you value growth, commit to learning or improving just a little each day. Over time, consistency creates a new reality. What once felt difficult or unnatural becomes second nature. The Stoics believed that excellence isn't something you achieve once, it's something you practice every day. Epictetus put it best. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. When you commit to consistent action, you're not just changing your habits, you're transforming your identity. Consistency isn't glamorous, and it rarely delivers immediate results. But it's the quiet, steady force that drives lasting change. The Stoics knew this, and they lived by it. So, ask yourself, what small step can I take today? What habit can I commit to building? Not just for a day, but for a lifetime. Start small, but start now. If this message resonates with you, subscribe to our channel and join us on this journey of growth and resilience. Together, we'll explore the wisdom of Stoicism and how it can guide you to a life of purpose, strength, and inner peace. Your transformation begins with one consistent action. What will you choose to do today? Facing and overcoming your weaknesses. Growth lies in embracing challenges. What if I told you that the very things you see as your weaknesses, the flaws, fears, and doubts you'd rather ignore, are the keys to your growth? The Stoics understood this truth deeply. To truly become stronger, you must first confront what makes you feel weak. It's natural to want to hide our shortcomings, to avoid the discomfort of admitting we're not yet who we want to be. But avoidance doesn't eliminate weakness, it amplifies it. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, faced immense pressures yet wrote in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This strength begins the moment you stop running from your weaknesses and instead turn to face them head-on. Admitting that you have room to grow requires vulnerability. It's much easier to focus on external challenges or blame circumstances for why we're not where we want to be. But the Stoics remind us that growth begins from within. Seneca said, "You must fight your own fight. It is far more important than the fight for power or wealth." This fight isn't against others. It's against your own limitations, fears, and excuses. The good news, it's a battle you're capable of winning. Take a moment to reflect. What are the areas in your life where you feel stuck? Is it fear of failure, a lack of discipline, doubt in your abilities? Instead of ignoring these feelings, the Stoics would tell you to embrace them. See them not as weaknesses, but as opportunities to practice resilience, courage, and growth. One of the greatest misconceptions is that weaknesses are equivalent to failure. But the Stoics believed otherwise. They saw weaknesses as stepping stones, not barriers. Epictetus taught his students to view every shortcoming as a chance to strengthen their character. What ought one to say then as each difficulty comes? I was practicing for this, I was training for this. Imagine a sculptor working with a rough block of marble. The flaws in the stone don't prevent them from creating something beautiful. Instead, those imperfections guide their hands. Your weaknesses work the same way. They show you where to focus your energy, where you can improve and grow stronger. For example, if you struggle with self-doubt, see it as an invitation to build self-confidence through consistent action. If you find it hard to stay disciplined, treat each lapse as a chance to recommit with even greater focus. The Stoics didn't fear failure. They embraced it as one of life's greatest teachers. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties come to those who seek them out for their own good, just as the wrestler seeks the hardest opponents to test his strength." Failure isn't the end of the road, it's a critical part of the journey. When you fail, you learn what doesn't work. You gain insight into your habits, behaviors, and mindset. This feedback is invaluable. Consider this. Every successful person you admire has faced failure. What sets them apart isn't that they avoided setbacks, it's how they responded to them. The Stoic approach is to view failure not as defeat, but as fuel. Each stumble is a chance to refine your approach, to adapt, and to come back stronger. The path to mastery is rarely comfortable. The Stoics knew this and taught that discomfort is a necessary part of growth. Epictetus often reminded his students that true strength is built in the arena of life, not by avoiding challenges, but by engaging with them fully. Think about the last time you pushed through discomfort. Maybe it was finishing a tough workout, having a difficult conversation, or learning a new skill that felt overwhelming at first. How did you feel afterward? That sense of accomplishment didn't come from avoiding the challenge. It came from facing it head-on. The same applies to your weaknesses. When you choose to confront what makes you uncomfortable, you build resilience. Over time, the things that once intimidated you lose their power. Growth starts with self-awareness. Marcus Aurelius, despite being an emperor, constantly practiced honest reflection. He wrote, "Don't be ashamed of needing help. You have a duty to fulfill just like a soldier on the wall of battle. So what if you are injured and can't climb unassisted?" To face your weaknesses, you must first see them clearly. This requires humility and a willingness to ask yourself tough questions. What am I avoiding because it feels uncomfortable? What habits or thoughts are holding me back? How can I approach these areas with a mindset of growth? Honest reflection isn't about judgment or self-criticism. It's about understanding where you are so you can chart a path forward. The Stoics believed that your greatest strengths often come from the very areas where you once felt weak. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent effort and intentional practice. If you struggle with patience, start small. Practice pausing before responding in conversations. If you find it hard to stay disciplined, create a simple routine and stick to it. If fear of failure holds you back, take one small action toward your goal and celebrate the effort, not the outcome. Each time you face a weakness, you're training yourself to become stronger, more capable, and more resilient. The Stoics teach us that the obstacles we face are not roadblocks. They are the way forward. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When you encounter a challenge, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How can I grow from this? By shifting your perspective, you transform difficulties into opportunities for growth. For example, if you feel overwhelmed by a difficult project at work, see it as a chance to develop new skills or refine your time management. If a personal relationship feels strained, use it as an opportunity to practice empathy, communication, and patience. Acting as if you're the best doesn't mean ignoring your flaws or pretending they don't exist. On the contrary, it means having the humility to acknowledge your weaknesses and the courage to address them. Seneca wrote, "The wise man is not the one who has no flaws, but the one who uses his flaws as fuel for virtue." This mindset allows you to approach growth with openness and determination, knowing that every step forward is a victory. Your weaknesses don't define you, they shape you. By facing them with courage, humility, and resilience, you unlock your true potential. So, ask yourself, what is one area of my life where I can start transforming weakness into strength? Begin with small, deliberate actions, and trust that each step will bring you closer to the person you want to become. If this resonates with you, subscribe to our channel and join a community committed to growth and resilience. Together, we'll explore the wisdom of Stoicism and how it can help you live a life of purpose, strength, and fulfillment. Remember, growth isn't about perfection, it's about progress. And it starts today. Surrounding yourself with supportive people, building a circle that elevates you. No one becomes their best alone. Even the Stoics, who are often portrayed as champions of self-reliance, understood the profound importance of community. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, acknowledged this in Meditations. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. But here's the catch. Your thoughts are deeply influenced by the people you surround yourself with. If you want to grow, to thrive, and to become the best version of yourself, you must be intentional about the company you keep. A supportive circle isn't just a source of comfort, it's a foundation for strength, inspiration, and resilience. Imagine for a moment the people you interact with most. Are they lifting you up or holding you back? Are they helping you see your potential, or are they feeding your doubts? The Stoics teach us that while we can't control how others act, we can control how much influence they have over us. Seneca advised, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." This doesn't mean cutting everyone out of your life, but it does mean choosing to spend your time and energy with those who align with your values and encourage your growth. Think of your relationships as a garden. The supportive people in your life are like sunlight and water. They nourish you, helping you grow into your fullest potential. But toxic relationships are like weeds. They drain your energy and choke your progress. Life is filled with challenges, and facing them alone can feel overwhelming. That's where a strong support system comes in. The Stoics believed in the interconnectedness of humanity, a concept they called sympatheia. It's the idea that we're all part of a greater whole, and our actions and relationships impact not just ourselves, but the people around us. When you surround yourself with supportive people, you create a buffer against life's difficulties. Their encouragement reminds you of your worth when you doubt yourself. Their wisdom offers perspective when you feel lost, and their strength helps carry you when your own falters. Take the example of a close friend or mentor who has guided you through tough times. Their support didn't erase the challenges, but it gave you the courage and clarity to face them. This is the power of community. It doesn't remove obstacles, but it makes them more bearable. Creating a circle of supportive people requires intention and effort. It's not just about finding people who agree with you or make you feel good in the moment. It's about surrounding yourself with those who challenge you to grow, inspire you to aim higher, and hold you accountable to your values. Here are a few steps to consider. Identify the people who uplift you. Reflect on your current relationships. Who inspires you? Who listens without judgment? Who pushes you to be better while respecting who you are? Limit toxic influences. Not everyone in your life will support your growth, and that's okay. But you have the power to limit your exposure to those who drain your energy or undermine your confidence. Seek out like-minded individuals. Whether it's through work, hobbies, or online communities, actively seek connections with people who share your values and aspirations. Remember, it's not about the number of people in your circle, it's about the quality of those relationships. A small group of genuine, supportive individuals can have a far greater impact on your life than a large network of acquaintances. The Stoics believed that your greatest strengths often come from the very areas where you once felt weak. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent effort and intentional practice. If you struggle with patience, start small. Practice pausing before responding in conversations. If you find it hard to stay disciplined, create a simple routine and stick to it. If fear of failure holds you back, take one small action toward your goal and celebrate the effort, not the outcome. Each time you face a weakness, you're training yourself to become stronger, more capable, and more resilient. The Stoics teach us that the obstacles we face are not roadblocks. They are the way forward. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When you encounter a challenge, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How can I grow from this? By shifting your perspective, you transform difficulties into opportunities for growth. For example, if you feel overwhelmed by a difficult project at work, see it as a chance to develop new skills or refine your time management. If a personal relationship feels strained, use it as an opportunity to practice empathy, communication, and patience. Acting as if you're the best doesn't mean ignoring your flaws or pretending they don't exist. On the contrary, it means having the humility to acknowledge your weaknesses and the courage to address them. Seneca wrote, "The wise man is not the one who has no flaws, but the one who uses his flaws as fuel for virtue." This mindset allows you to approach growth with openness and determination, knowing that every step forward is a victory. Your weaknesses don't define you, they shape you. By facing them with courage, humility, and resilience, you unlock your true potential. So, ask yourself, what is one area of my life where I can start transforming weakness into strength? Begin with small, deliberate actions, and trust that each step will bring you closer to the person you want to become. If this resonates with you, subscribe to our channel and join a community committed to growth and resilience. Together, we'll explore the wisdom of Stoicism and how it can help you live a life of purpose, strength, and fulfillment. Remember, growth isn't about perfection, it's about progress. And it starts today. Respect starts from within, building the foundation for how others treat you. Have you ever stopped to consider why some people seem to command respect effortlessly while others struggle to receive it no matter how much they try? The answer lies not in external validation, but in a profound truth the Stoics understood. Respect begins within. How you treat yourself sets the standard for how others treat you. If you carry yourself with dignity, confidence, and self-respect, you send a powerful message to the world about what you will and will not tolerate. But if you allow disrespect, whether from others or more subtly from yourself, you're signaling that this behavior is acceptable. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, wrote in Meditations, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." This means the way you think about yourself and the standards you set internally directly influence how others perceive and interact with you. Ask yourself, do my actions reflect self-respect? Every time you allow someone to cross a boundary without consequence, every time you shrink yourself to avoid conflict, you dilute the message you're sending about your worth. Respect isn't demanded, it's cultivated from within. The Stoics believed that living with virtue, qualities like courage, discipline, and integrity, was the foundation of a life worth respecting. When you embody these principles, not only do you respect yourself, but you also inspire respect from others. One of the clearest ways to demonstrate self-respect is by setting and enforcing boundaries. Epictetus taught, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." Setting boundaries is entirely within your power. It's a way of defining how you expect to be treated and holding others accountable. Think of boundaries as the guardrails of your life. They protect your peace, your energy, and your values. When someone oversteps, and you calmly but firmly enforce a boundary, you're sending a clear message. I value myself too much to accept this behavior. For example, if a colleague consistently interrupts you in meetings, addressing it directly and respectfully can transform the dynamic. Saying something like, "I value collaborative discussions, but I'd appreciate it if I could finish my thought before you respond," isn't confrontational. It's a statement of self-respect. Self-respect isn't just about how you handle others, it's about how you handle yourself. Your habits, choices, and daily actions all reflect the level of respect you have for who you are and who you want to become. In your health, are you treating your body with care and attention, or are you neglecting it? In your work, are you giving your best effort, or are you settling for less than you're capable of? In your relationships, are you surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you, or are you tolerating negativity? Every choice you make is a declaration of your self-respect. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." The Stoics believed that silence is one of the most powerful tools for maintaining dignity and respect. When faced with disrespect, the instinct may be to lash out, to defend yourself with words. But often, responding with silence speaks louder than anything you could say. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." By refusing to engage in petty conflicts or stoop to the level of those who disrespect you, you maintain your integrity. Silence sends a clear message. Your behavior doesn't deserve my energy. This isn't about avoidance or passivity. It's about choosing your battles wisely and preserving your peace of mind. Sometimes, the most respectful thing you can do for yourself is to walk away from people or situations that consistently undermine your worth. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's a declaration of strength. Seneca wrote, "You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire." Life is too short to spend it in environments that rob you of your joy and self-respect. Walking away doesn't always mean cutting ties completely. Sometimes it's about creating emotional or physical distance to protect your peace. Whether it's limiting interactions with a toxic family member or stepping away from a draining job, the act of choosing yourself is an act of profound respect. Respect isn't built in a day. It's earned through consistent actions over time. When you show up for yourself day after day, when you honor your commitments and hold firm to your principles, you send a powerful message. I am someone who deserves respect. This consistency also influences how others treat you. When people see that you value yourself, they're more likely to value you as well. But even if they don't, the respect you've cultivated within will remain unshaken. When you respect yourself, you inspire others to do the same, not just toward you, but in their own lives. The Stoics believed that by embodying virtue, we have the power to elevate those around us. Think about how it feels to be in the presence of someone who carries themselves with quiet confidence and dignity. Their energy is magnetic. They don't demand respect. It flows to them naturally. By living with self-respect, you become a role model for others, showing them what's possible when you prioritize your values and well-being. Respect begins within. It's not about seeking validation or approval from others. It's about setting the standard for how you treat yourself and how you allow others to treat you. So ask yourself, am I living in a way that reflects my worth? Am I setting boundaries, honoring my values, and choosing relationships and actions that align with my highest self? If the answer is no, today is the perfect time to start. Begin by making one choice that reflects your self-respect, whether it's setting a boundary, prioritizing your health, or walking away from negativity. If this message resonates with you, subscribe to our channel and join a community dedicated to growth, resilience, and purpose. Together, we'll explore how Stoic principles can guide us to live with strength, dignity, and inner peace. Remember, The way you respect yourself sets the tone for your entire life. Choose wisely and the world will follow your lead. To embrace failure as a step forward. Turning setbacks into strength. Failure. Just the word itself can trigger fear, embarrassment, or even shame. We've all been there, facing the sting of a missed opportunity, a wrong decision, or a dream that didn't go as planned. But what if I told you that failure isn't the end of the road? What if it's actually a critical step toward becoming your best self? The Stoics understood this deeply. To them, failure wasn't something to fear or avoid. It was a teacher, a guide, and a necessary part of growth. Marcus Aurelius captured this beautifully when he wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." We often view failure as a sign of weakness or inadequacy, but the Stoics would urge us to see it differently. To them, failure was not a reflection of your worth, but a challenge to grow stronger. Epictetus said, "Difficulties show a person's character. Therefore, when trouble comes, think of yourself as a wrestler, whom God, like a trainer, has paired with a tough young opponent. Why? So that you may become a better wrestler." Each failure you face is an opponent in your personal wrestling match, a chance to test your strength, refine your techniques, and come back more prepared for the next challenge. One of the most liberating lessons from Stoicism is the idea that failure isn't final. It's feedback. Every time you stumble, the world is giving you valuable information. What didn't work? What can you do differently next time? How can you adapt and grow? Think about a child learning to walk. They fall countless times, yet they don't give up. Each fall teaches them how to balance, how to adjust their footing, and how to take that next step. As adults, we often lose this perspective. We let failure discourage us instead of using it to inform our next move. The Stoics would remind us that failure is part of the process. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." The Stoics emphasize the importance of focusing on what you can control, your efforts, your attitude, and your response, rather than fixating on the outcome. Epictetus taught, "It is not the things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about these things." When you fail, it's easy to spiral into self-criticism, thinking, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never succeed." But these thoughts are judgments, not facts. The Stoics would encourage you to shift your perspective. Instead of seeing failure as proof of inadequacy, view it as proof of effort. You tried, you stepped into the arena, took a risk, and gave it your best shot. That alone is a victory. And now you have the chance to try again, wiser and stronger than before. Every time you face failure and choose to keep going, you build resilience. It's like lifting weights at the gym. The more resistance you face, the stronger you become. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. While you can't control every setback, you can control how you respond to it. Consider a failed business venture. You might lose money, time, and confidence. But instead of seeing it as a dead end, what if you approached it with curiosity? What lessons did you learn about strategy, decision-making, or perseverance? What strengths did you discover in yourself as you navigated the difficulty? This is the Stoic approach to failure. Use every setback as a stepping stone toward greater strength and wisdom. One of the hardest parts of failure is finding the courage to try again. It's natural to feel hesitant, to wonder if it's worth risking another stumble. But the Stoics remind us that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting in spite of it. Seneca wrote, "Brave men rejoice in adversity, just as brave soldiers triumph in war." Each time you choose to rise after a fall, you're proving to yourself and the world that you are resilient, resourceful, and unstoppable. Think of Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset of persistence and adaptability is exactly what the Stoics would encourage. Your greatest moments of growth often come from your greatest challenges. Failure has a way of revealing your character, your ability to adapt, to stay grounded, and to keep moving forward. Epictetus said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." This applies to how you treat yourself as well. Be kind to yourself in failure. Recognize that setbacks are not reflections of your worth. They are opportunities to refine your path. For example, if you fail to meet a goal, ask yourself, what external factors played a role and what was within my control? How can I adjust my approach next time? What strengths did this experience uncover in me? By reflecting on these questions, you transform failure into a tool for growth. When you stop fearing failure, you unlock a profound sense of freedom. No longer are you paralyzed by the what-ifs or the need to be perfect. Instead, you embrace life fully, knowing that every success and every stumble is part of the journey. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do not be ashamed of your mistakes. Instead, learn from them." When you view failure as a teacher rather than an enemy, you free yourself to take bold action without fear of falling short. When you embrace your own failures with grace and resilience, you inspire those around you to do the same. The Stoics believed in the interconnectedness of humanity, that our actions ripple outward, influencing others in ways we may never see. Think about the people you admire most. Chances are, their stories include moments of failure and struggle, but their willingness to rise, to keep going, and to grow through those experiences is what makes them truly inspiring. By owning your failures and using them as stepping stones, you become a source of strength and encouragement for those around you. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a vital part of the journey. The Stoics understood this and embraced failure as an opportunity to learn, grow, and build resilience. So, the next time you face a setback, pause and ask yourself, what is this moment teaching me? How can I use this experience to become stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what's ahead? If this resonates with you, join us on this journey by subscribing to our channel. Together, we'll explore the wisdom of Stoicism and how it can guide us through life's challenges with grace and purpose. Remember, failure is not your enemy. It's your teacher. Use it well and let it shape you into the person you're meant to be. Third, daily practice of resilience. Failure as fuel for growth. Failure isn't something we can avoid, it's a part of life. What separates those who thrive from those who falter is how they choose to use their failures. For the Stoics, failure was never the end of the story. It was the beginning of a transformation, an opportunity to grow stronger, more adaptable, and more resilient. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "What stands in the way becomes the way." This profound statement reminds us that obstacles, including failure, are not detours. They are the very path to becoming our best selves. When we fail, it's natural to feel disappointed or discouraged. These emotions are part of the human experience. The Stoics didn't suggest suppressing these feelings. Instead, they encouraged us to process them with clarity and purpose. Epictetus taught, "When something happens, the only thing in your power is your attitude toward it." While you may not control the failure itself, you have full control over your reaction. Will you let it define you, or will you let it refine you? Take a moment to reflect. When you last faced a setback, how did you respond? Did you dwell on the loss, or did you use it as an opportunity to adjust your approach? The Stoics believed that failure, when approached with the right mindset, could become a catalyst for greater strength and wisdom. In every field of excellence, failure is not just common, it's essential. Think of any artist, athlete, or innovator you admire. Behind their success lies a trail of failed attempts, mistakes, and lessons learned. Consider this. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb on his first try. Instead, he failed thousands of times. Yet he famously remarked, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This perspective aligns perfectly with Stoic philosophy, which encourages us to see failure as part of the journey to mastery. The Stoics viewed life as a practice, a series of deliberate actions aimed at continuous improvement. Each failure is a feedback loop, providing insights into what works and what doesn't. By embracing failure, you position yourself to learn and grow in ways that success alone could never teach. Marcus Aurelius believed that adversity reveals who we truly are. In Meditations, he wrote, "The trials we face expose us, but they also shape us. When you fail, you're presented with a choice. Resent the experience and retreat into self-pity. Embrace the challenge and use it to fortify your character. Choosing the latter is what builds resilience. Each time you rise after a failure, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your circumstances. This act of perseverance creates a ripple effect, strengthening your confidence and preparing you for future challenges. Failure often brings with it a companion, doubt, that inner voice that whispers, "You're not good enough. You'll never succeed." The Stoics would urge you to confront this voice, not with denial, but with action. Epictetus said, "We are disturbed not by what happens, but by our thoughts about what happens." Doubt is a thought, not a fact. The best way to silence it is to act in defiance of it. When you take small, deliberate steps forward, even after failure, you begin to rewrite the narrative. For example, if you failed a job interview, instead of telling yourself, "I'm not good enough," reframe it. "What did I learn? How can I improve for the next opportunity?" This shift in mindset not only helps you recover, but strengthens your belief in your ability to grow. One of the greatest gifts of failure is the wisdom it leaves behind. While the pain of a setback may fade, the lessons you learn endure. Take the time to reflect after a failure. What went wrong? What could you have done differently? What strengths did you discover in yourself as you navigated the challenge? The Stoics believed that self-reflection was essential for growth. By examining your failures with honesty and curiosity, you turn them into tools for self-improvement. Resilience isn't built overnight. It's a muscle you strengthen through consistent practice. Each time you face failure and choose to keep going, you reinforce your ability to persevere. Imagine a tree weathering a storm. Its branches may bend and its leaves may fall, but its roots grow deeper, anchoring it against the wind. You are that tree. Each failure you endure deepens your roots, making you more grounded and unshakable. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This strength isn't about avoiding failure. It's about knowing you can rise after every fall. When you stop fearing failure, you free yourself to take risks, to dream bigger, and to live more fully. The Stoics remind us that failure is not a reflection of our worth, but a step on the path to growth. Seneca said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." When you embrace failure as part of the process, you release the anxiety of perfection. You give yourself permission to try, to stumble, and to try again. When you embrace failure with grace and determination, you inspire those around you. Your ability to rise after a setback sends a powerful message. It's okay to fall, as long as you keep getting back up. Think about someone you admire. Chances are, their story includes moments of failure. What makes them inspiring isn't the absence of setbacks, it's their resilience in the face of them. By owning your failures, you become a source of strength for others, showing them what's possible when you refuse to give up. Failure is not the enemy. It's a teacher, a guide, and a necessary part of growth. The Stoics knew this and embraced failure as an opportunity to build resilience, character, and wisdom. So, the next time you stumble, pause and ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How can I use this experience to become stronger, wiser, and more determined? If this message resonates with you, join our community by subscribing to our channel. Together, we'll explore the wisdom of Stoicism and learn how to navigate life's challenges with courage, purpose, and grace. Remember, failure doesn't define you. Your response does. Use it well and let it guide you toward the life you're meant to live. As we've explored, the wisdom of Stoicism offers a timeless roadmap for living a life of purpose, strength, and resilience. From deciding your worth to embracing failure, every step on this journey is about reclaiming the power you already have within you. The Stoics understood that greatness isn't something you stumble upon. It's something you build day by day, choice by choice. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This truth is the foundation of Stoic philosophy and the key to transforming your life. It reminds us that no matter what challenges we face, the way we think, act, and respond is entirely within our control. Whether you're striving to act as if you are the best, building habits of excellence, or learning to grow through failure, the message is the same. You are capable of far more than you realize. The question isn't whether you have what it takes, the question is whether you're willing to begin. The beauty of this journey is that it's not about perfection, and the Stoics didn't aim to eliminate mistakes or avoid setbacks. They embraced them as essential parts of growth. They knew that life's challenges are what shape us, that resilience is forged through difficulty, and that true strength comes from showing up every day with intention and purpose. As you move forward, remember these key lessons. Respect begins within. Set high standards for yourself, and others will follow. Failure is not the end. It's the teacher that prepares you for success. Action is power. Begin today, even with small steps, and trust the process. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment to change your life. The perfect moment is now. Choose to act, to grow, and to become the person you've always known you could be. If this message resonates with you, join us in embracing the wisdom of Stoicism by subscribing to our channel. Together, we'll continue this journey of growth, resilience, and purpose. Let's strive to live not just a good life, but a life of meaning and impact. Your potential is limitless. The journey begins today. Will you take the first step?